Hi everyone, welcome back to What's the Word podcast. Welcome to our month 4 marriage recap, which happened on the 18th. We've been married for 4 months as of the 18th, but we didn't post that day, so sorry. We've had a really busy May and we went on vacation. I went on my first cruise.
Got to take the time to treat yourself.
So, yeah, we decided to push it back a little bit. If this is your first time listening, welcome to our podcast. We are reviewing each month of our marriage as it's happening and going over our lessons and blessings of the month. I'm in a really happy, giddy mood today, and I feel like I've been annoying him a little bit because I was all discombobulated and losing things when we were setting everything up, but it's okay.
I ain't got no comment. But I do want to say thank you for joining. And we love you so much. I'm going to say that every time because that's how we feel. We love you.
Yes, we do love you guys. So we're going to dive right into our recap of our recap of this month, going into our blessings. So if you didn't know, which everyone should know, obviously. No, I'm kidding. April was my birthday month. I turned 25.
Who you supposed to be?
I'm very old now. We've been joking that I'm a cougar because until August, I'm older than him.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. The older the berry, the sweeter the juice. No, I'm just playing.
Okay. I don't know if that's how that goes, but that's fine. So, one of my main blessings for this month was my birthday. I'm very happy to have been born and all the lessons I've learned up to this point. I had a bunch of my friends come over and we had a nice little chill weekend. Nothing big. We didn't dress up or anything. We just swam and walked around and watched Michael Jackson, which was really good, by the way. And yeah. Oh, Ty got me a bike for my birthday. We've been riding bikes almost every day. That's been a highlight. I love riding bikes. If you guys didn't know, which I don't know why you would, my sister is a cyclist. She's either pre-professional or professional. I'm not sure yet. But she's very good. And so I'm not trying to be like her. But, I'm getting there now.
I'm trying to be like her.
I'm not,
I
guys.
want to ride the bike for 100 miles.
She has to practice. Her practices is like riding bikes for 5 hours a day. I do want her legs, though, so hopefully our legs get shredded. But yeah, my main blessing is just the whole month in general, all the fun things we did, and we traveled a lot, too. So, yeah.
Also, I didn't know I would have as much fun as I did hanging with, as a husband sometimes you don't want to hang with your wife friends, not white friends, your wife's friends while they're together. It's just straight girls and then it's me. But I ain't gonna lie, I had fun, man. We had some real deep conversations. I like that type of stuff. So, I know you guys are watching this. Y'all are always welcome. Y'all are always welcome.
Yeah, I'm really glad you got to be a part of it. And it wasn't just like, oh, Ty, oh, my husband is joining in on our stuff. It was like everyone's friends and everyone gets along and we're chill. And I really like that. I like that you're comfortable around my friends. So that was really fun. What was one of your blessings for the month?
I will say this month has been, so we have been playing a lot. We've been playing games a lot of nights this month, starting this month. I'm pretty sure it's going to continue with her and my sisters. And I haven't did that. Like, we haven't did that in a long time. It's just me and my sisters. Like, we ain't did that in a long time. And I feel like it's a blessing that she has helped me make the relationship with my sisters a lot better. Not saying it was bad, but we all have something a way we can connect. Outside of me just being a big brother or them just being a little sister. We have something that we all enjoy doing together. But because of her, because if she wasn't around, we wouldn't even be playing games almost every other day. So
I am a board game fiend, and I honestly take a lot of pride in making his sisters board game fiends too. because we literally play games almost every night. Like, either we'll go up there and play board games, or his sisters will come down here and we'll play video games. If you guys have ever played Overcooked, yeah, we play that. It's
It
intense.
ruin it'll ruin relationships.
No, no, no,
Yeah, it
no,
will.
never that.
Cause
Never.
everybody wants you to be. I'm sick of everybody want me to be doing something that they want me to do. I want to do 5 different things at
Ty
one
likes
time.
to get in people, so we'll have stations and everyone has a different job, and we'll be like, Ty, do this one thing. That is your job. And then you leave your cutting board for 1 second and he's over there cutting your onion. And I'm like, you're not supposed to be over here.
I thought that was helping. I thought that's what we do in life. When somebody need help or it look like they need help, even if you can help them in the smallest way, why not go help them? I go help in this. Why you ain't washing the dishes? Why is dishes over there in the sink? The dish could have just popped up. Why is dishes in the sink? Why it ain't this? Why it ain't that? See, we lost because you ain't doing your job. You
Yeah.
know.
So if
But
you
hey, that's how much they love me. They want me to do my job. They just making sure I'm on track.
if
I
you
just want to help.
if you want to put your relationship to the test, get Overcooked. Yep. Anyway, so yeah, I would say that's also another one of my blessings. Like, I feel like as the months have gone on, like, I've been getting closer to your sisters, but I feel like this month in particular, I feel like really, like, I can feel like our attachment growing, and like I feel like protective over them, and I'm always wondering if they're okay and stuff, and then they're getting more affectionate towards me. Like, I went to visit my family and they actually miss me. They're like, no, I can't believe you're leaving. When are you going to come back? And it like melted my heart. I was like, you guys love me that much? Oh.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt when I first went down to visit your family, and we every time I came, we was playing games and stuff like that. I was like, dang, I really enjoy being here. It almost seemed like when it's your family. I know it's for me sometimes. Like when it's my family, I'll be like, shh, yeah, let me go ahead. I need to get away for a little bit. But when it's somebody else's family, it's like they grow on you, and it's like, dang, have I been missing this or something? But you really haven't. You just haven't connected with your family the same way you connected with this family in a long time. So
And I also realized visiting my family, like, this is my first year getting to know your family. I've known my family my whole life, so obviously I'm not going to be as, oh my gosh, like sunshine and rainbows, because I've been around, like, that's familiarity. But your family, I feel like I'm getting to feel excitement over being with them because it's my first time knowing them. And I think when you move in with in-laws, I think sometimes there's kind of a guilt, like, not that I'm not excited to see my family, but maybe if I'm not as energetic around my family as I am around your family, like, I feel like sometimes I feel a little guilty. But it's like, no, I'm getting the opportunity to get to know these people for the first time. And I get to share the love that I have for both of my families. So I think that's something I've been getting used to.
another blessing. I just heard this the other day. I already knew it, but I just actually heard it coming from most of my family members at the table. They absolutely adore her, and that's I like that. I now granted, if they didn't, I wouldn't care, cause it's my wife. I married her. But at the same time, it feels wonderful to have a family that adores your wife or your husband. You don't have to worry about them going behind your back and doing or saying certain stuff about your wife, and you can't come around because they're giving off weird energy because they don't like your wife or they don't like your husband. So it's good not to have that.
Yeah, it feels good because like, I don't have extended family that I'm close to and that I get to see all the time or visit or am constant communication with. Like, we have my grandma and my aunt, and that's about all the extended family that I talk to. But Ty's whole family lives in his town. And so there's aunts and uncles and grandparents over all the time. And so being immersed into a world that has so many different people that I get to interact with and get to know is exciting. And I'm glad they like me.
And the
I
thing
feel like
is,
that's a
and this and
nightmare
this
going into marriage, is wanting your in-laws to like you.
and this what I know. If they didn't like her, they would say, Like they would you would know. For one, they'll tell me, and for two, they'll tell her. I know for a fact I got two cousins, they sisters. They don't care what they say. My stepmama mama, she don't care what she say. If she don't like it, she don't like it, and you gonna know she don't like it. So it's wonderful. It's all wonderful.
Um, Another blessing I have, it actually became a blessing. Ty was listening to it on his phone, and I don't even know if you remember, but I was cooking it. I think you were in the bathroom or something, and I was listening on to what was playing on your phone, and it was one of those
Nosy?
inspirational, yeah, it was one of those inspirational videos that say sometimes you get lost in like the everyday thing, like, but you should be glad that you have that shows that you have consistency and stability, like making dinner every day, washing dishes every day. Sometimes you get stuck in that routine, but that shows that you have a consistent life and you have a stable life. And it made me think like, it made me reflect on how grateful I am to have stability and consistency, because it's a luxury that some people don't have, especially like I went back home this past weekend by myself because Ty was working, and I got to see like my family and friends, and I got to hear about stuff they were going through and stuff they were dealing with. And I was like, man, like I don't have to worry about any of that. And it made me feel really grateful, that some things I take for granted, like having every day kind of be the same sometimes, or not much exciting happening, is actually a blessing, especially because of how I grew up, because I grew up around kind of instability and not always knowing where things would come from, to now being super stable and super consistent. And it kind of took me removing myself from that to realize that we have it good. And I was talking to my aunt, and I was telling her just about like how life is going and how we're considering certain things in our future and stuff, and just stuff I've been dealing with. And she goes, "Those are good problems to have, City." And I was like, "You're right. Like, the problems we have are so small, and they're also so good. Like, the stuff we worry about is stuff some people are not in a position to worry about, like us maybe wanting to start our own business. Some people are worried about where they're going to live or what they're going to eat or getting a job. So it made me realize, like, I'm glad to have such good problems. And I feel like that's a blessing.
That makes sense. And a lot of times too, like sometimes you can be in such good position compared to others. Everybody got problems, and everybody's problems are their problems. So no matter how big or small, who am I to belittle or make somebody's problem greater than what it is, because it's their problem. So a lot of times we take our what we go through for granted, or how good we got it for granted. And the only time that we really notice it is when we either not around it, or we're not, or we see what somebody else is going through. That's the only time we notice how good we got it. So I think it's best for us to be cautious about living in our own moments and focusing on ourselves, to where we don't miss moments and take for granted what we actually got, because you never know, somebody else could be going, in which it don't matter what somebody else is going through. But I'm saying, compared, like if you look at your own life and compare it to somebody else's life, they could be going through a lot worse than what you're going through. So just don't get too focused on other people's life. I mean, don't get too focused on other people's life to where you take your own life for granted.
That's good. Do you have another blessing?
Yeah, I got an honorary blessing. We have a next door neighbor
An angel.
sent straight from heaven. She has a bakery. Let's just say that her
Keep talking.
her business is a bakery. And I remember when I first moved in with my dad, she brought uh some bread up there, and I had never tried it, you know. But she came and knocked on the door, and she brought us.
Homemade sourdough bread. For our audio listeners, you can get some ASMR. For our visual listeners, here is the bread. It's so good.
Man, like the best bread I done ever had in my life. And I said I was gonna stop eating bread. But that bread right there, I don't know. It almost made me want to cry. And I got on her Facebook page today, her business Facebook page, and I followed her. And I would suggest that you guys go follow. If you're from around the Tupelo area, my listeners that live in Tupelo or live in the surrounding area, Homemade by MJ. Homemade by MJ is the Facebook page. Go follow her. If you want good bread that you can't get out the grocery store with all, and this bread got way less ingredients, but it tastes way better than the bread in the grocery store. I want me a peanut butter and jelly right now.
And sourdough is gut friendly.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwich right now. Turkey sandwich, ham sandwich, bologna sandwich, soup with some bread. Anything with bread, I want bread. She done put me on to something. I love this bread. Thank you so much. I ain't gonna say her name on here, but thank you, neighbor.
When it's bread day, he's looking out the window, waiting for
I
her
be
to
looking
come
out the window.
outside.
Matter of fact, when it's bread day, I go every time I'm finna get ready to leave. If I know
He'll
that,
like linger around outside and wait for her.
and hopefully this, cause I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to go over to a house every day and, hey, you got some bread? So I just kind of linger around outside
Give
and
me the bread.
hopefully she come out and see me and just decide to bring the bread out. But when she do, oh my God, it's like Jesus came back every time I see her. When she come to the door or knock on the door, I see her. My eyes just light up. Not but I love the bread so much. But that's a blessing.
Okay, my last blessing, it kind of goes with my previous blessing, but like I said, honestly, my trip to go visit home kind of put this whole month in perspective for me. So I'm kind of glad we filmed after instead of before because I kind of, everything, all the puzzle pieces kind of fit together. So I go home, I'm catching up with friends, family, just kind of seeing where they are at in life. And a lot of people like came to me with different situations that they're dealing with and kind of coming to me for a listening ear, but also kind of sometimes advice. And a lot of my advice was kind of like in terms of people, just kind of let people be people and like you can control you and stuff. All the stuff me and Ty talk about and work on, I'm like now giving to them. And some people wanted to hear it and some people don't. And I kind of contributed that to people being at different points in life. But when people came to me, I could see myself in them. Like 2 years ago, I would have been distraught over a situation like they are now. So like not only having empathy for where they are at in life, but also kind of understanding that maybe my advice isn't what they want to hear. Because I know when I was in that position and like my mom would come to me and tell me that kind of advice, I would be like, I don't want to hear that. Like, I don't want to hear. So it kind of made me realize how much I've grown out of certain phases of life. But it's also like I didn't really realize how much I've grown until I was met with situations that would have like tore me down a couple years ago. And I'm like, oh, those don't really bother me
So you was
anymore.
tested.
Yeah, or like just seeing how I respond now versus like my advice to these people a few years ago would have been vastly different than how I respond now. And so I'm like, oh wow, I have grown. But I called Ty and I told him, I was like, when we're at home and we're just in front of each other all the time and always working on how we can grow and what we need to work on, it's kind of hard to see our growth because all I see is what I need to work on. Oh, I need to be more patient. I need to do this. I need to communicate more. And then when I'm put into the real world, I kind of see the skills that we work on put to use, but it's kind of hard to see it in the moment because we're always working on growth and working on stuff. So it was cool to see like how much I have grown, but also acknowledging that there still is, well, there's always more room for me to grow. But I was glad because I can be hard on myself sometimes, but I was glad to just sit and be like, oh wow, like I really have matured a lot. and I've grown a lot, but it took me kind of removing myself from us, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing, to kind of look and see, oh, like I've made a lot of progress.
It's great to be in a healthy relationship because holding up the mirror to each other, you see each other's flaws, and a lot of times we go out in the world and we portray somebody that we not. Like we put on this face when we go out into the world, so nobody won't see the real us. Some of us do, but when you got somebody that live with you every day, that's as intimate with you, after God, it's like they see you, they really see you, and it's great to have that because once you really come out, you got stuff that you can work on, and you and your partner communicate that out, and y'all talk about it, and y'all help each other work on it. Then when you go out into the world, you don't have to put on a face. You don't have to put on it because you see where you have grown. You see what other people do, and you like, okay, I've grown from this. This was me. Like she said, that empathy. This was me. So I've grown from this because I have a healthy relationship where when this comes out, my partner chooses to help me work on it. And they tell me about it so that I can work on it. So it's always great.
Yes. Do you have any other blessings before
Uh,
we move on to lessons?
no.
You don't want to talk about your open-minded thing?
Yeah, I did. I forgot about that. I really did. I forgot about it. So I've grown to have a open mind. Like at the beginning of this relationship, now at the beginning of this marriage, no, not even at the beginning of marriage. At the beginning of marriage, I would say I had it started then, or more then. I'm just now noticing it now. But a lot of times when somebody tell us something about ourselves, we get defensive trying to protect ourselves, like we don't know that we did that, but in actuality we did do it. We just don't want to hear that about ourselves. Or we hear something online, we hear somebody say something else, and we get offended because we know that's who we are. That's me. And we like when that happens, we can't take the we can't take the
Criticism?
is it constructive criticism?
Depends on who it's coming from. You can
Yeah,
just say
we can't.
criticism.
We can't take the criticism of it. And I'm blessed to have an open mind to where I'm able to learn, of course, from her. She points out everything I do. Now sometimes I still do get a little defensive trying to protect myself, but then I get to think about it. I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe I did need to hear that. Maybe there's something that about me that I might need to adjust a little bit because it's not working. It's not working out for this relationship that I think is important. Or I might see something online. Everybody else might get offended about it, but in my mind, I might be like, what is the underlying message of this? Like, I know I hear this, what they saying, but what's the underlying message? Like stuff like that. So I'm happy. I'm blessed to have grown an open mind that's still growing because I'm open to listen to everything and everybody from all walks of life because I can learn something, and I'm always open to learn. I'm always a student of life.
Yeah, I agree. I also went to a friend's wedding this past weekend, and I texted her, like, my biggest piece of advice is even if you don't agree, you don't always have to work towards agreement, but always work towards understanding. And I feel like that goes with always having an open mind because when we talk, we don't always have to agree. Like if I have a problem, if I think you're doing something that you don't think is a problem, we don't have to agree on that, but we always talk to understand where each other are coming from. And that takes an open mind. I feel like understanding kind of surpasses agreement because even if I don't agree with why you got upset, I can understand why you got upset. And that allows me to have compassion, even if I don't always agree with you. So I feel like we're both kind of growing more of an open mind because I feel like when you search for agreement, that can kind of close your mind because you're only open to what you agree with. Whereas if you work towards understanding, it's just, oh, sorry guys. I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a fire truck in the background. Anyway, but whereas when you work towards understanding, you're just receiving whatever someone may have to tell you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I feel like that's a blessing as well. Do you have any other thoughts before we jump into our lessons?
On to the lessons.
Okay. I will say my first lesson is that when it comes to me and Ty have been talking a lot this month about dreams and what we want our future to look like, because we've had a lot of kind of things aligning in our favor in terms of allowing our dreams to become a reality. And a lot of the times we'll discuss what ifs, what if this happens, what if this happens, what if this happens. And so my first lesson is that the biggest obstacle between us and our dreams is ourself, and like our doubts and our what ifs and everything. And we're learning to take risks on ourselves. And we were talking the other day, and Ty was like, well, I've learned that high risk has high rewards. And also talking about what does that reward look like. Like a lot of times in life, people look at reward as money, getting money or success. But like even this example of our podcast, we're not making money from this. We're not famous, but we're risking putting ourselves out there for what reward. And I think our reward is that like this is like kind of a ministry for us. I know you told me that, and like we're getting so much in return for what we're putting out, and that reward might not look like what everyone else wants it to. And, you know, just being able to risk and putting yourself out there.
Yeah, the reward from that is whether it's one person or 30 people, you know, we might see a comment and say, hey, I really enjoy your podcast. And it may be some random person from across the states. And it warms my heart because I'm like, man, I'm glad, you know, I'm glad to have somebody listening. Because besides her, who do I talk to? I can talk to people, you know, I will, but it's great to be able to reach many people. So
Yeah.
that's the reward.
I think we're also learning to overcome ourselves in a bit. I just want to touch on this real quick because, like I said, we've had a lot of moments this month that have kind of confirmed where we're going. Like your parents bringing us different opportunities, or like we met people on the cruise who just happened to want to start a podcast, an older couple, and talking about that, and little things like family members coming to me, like mentioning things that only I've thought about in terms of like our dreams and stuff, like stuff aligning, but then there's that fear of actually doing it and like feeling like you're not prepared or stuff. And another thing I heard is that sometimes you don't see that you're ready until you're ready. Like if you go to the gym, you don't see progress until you're shredded. Like until then you don't really see you're growing. And I feel like all the stuff that has happened to us and all the random circumstances is preparing us and proving that like, hey, our time is coming and we don't know when, but we just have to like have ourselves open and like overcoming that fear of, oh, we don't know when it's going to happen or how it's going to happen, but just being open to it.
Yeah, and that's what creates in my head, in my opinion, that's what creates the anxiety of it. Because if somebody gave me the blueprint of when, if somebody already told me my future, what's the point of the chase? Like, what's the point of grinding, putting in the work if I already know where I'm going? I might well just be lazy until I get there. If I already know where I'm going or what I'm doing, I might well just not do nothing until I get there and just wait until I get there. But if I'm worried about, you know, oh, what would it look like if I did this? Or what would it look like if I did that? Or why, if I didn't do this, then what? You know, if I'm constantly worried about that stuff, it just makes me anxious about doing it in the first place. And every step I'm not even focused on every step of the way trying to get there. I'm just automatically put my focus on the end. So I'm anxious about it.
Yeah.
So
Kind of reminded me, I don't know if you've heard the story of Moses, the guy with the Ten Commandments. Anyway, God told him that he had to speak in front of everyone and like set his people free. And Moses never public spoke before. He was like, I'm not doing that. And he tried to run. And then God was like, no, this is you are meant to do this. And so like, I was kind of thinking of that, like there's so much coming our way and like we don't know what that looks like, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm suited for this. I don't know, like I need to be ready. I need to know all this stuff, and I just feel like God's putting us in a position like I know what your position is, and I know you're ready for this, and all you have to do is show up and try. And so it's just so crazy. Like all you have to do is just go and do it, and like God's making a way for us even when we don't think we're ready for stuff. So
absolutely. My first lesson is to stop making assumptions. So this is my wife.
hi.
I think I know everything that she's about to do, that she's going to do, that she gonna say, how she gonna feel, where she gonna go. I think I know all that. So anytime a situation happen, before I say something, I automatically think in my head, I already know that she gonna say this. I already know that she gonna feel like this when I say this. And then it happened, and it could possibly be the complete opposite. And it's like, why I didn't just ask? Why you didn't just ask? So I gotta start getting in the habit of just asking, like, how do you feel about this? If I said this, what would that make you feel? Or if I do say something, how you feel about it? What you think about this? Instead of holding something back that I might have want to say, or how I feel, or a situation that we going through, because I think I know how you gonna feel about it, instead of me just asking.
Yeah, I've done that. I feel like we do that to each other.
We
like,
do it a lot.
There's been moments where I'm like, well, you're just gonna do this, and Ty's like, how do you know? And I was like, well, you've done it before. You always respond like this, so I know you're gonna. And you've done it to me, and like, I remember one time, like we were having this consistent problem over a card game, by the way. Nothing serious. But anyway, we had this serious conversation because we kept getting mad at each other during this card game, and we're like, okay, well, I don't like when you do this. I don't like when you do this. We're not going to do it anymore. And ever since then, like, we took what we talked about and we stopped doing what was bothering each other. And then the situation happened again where it was getting a little heated, and Ty was like, oh, I thought you were going to do this. And I was like, ever since we had that conversation, I never did it. So why do you think I'm incapable of change? And I've done that to him where he's not done something for a long time, and I still think, which is warranted because we have patterns. And when we do something for so long, it's hard for the mind to consider that someone may respond differently. So also giving grace, like, it's okay that you think that, but also knowing that I'm capable of changing my behavior and you're capable of changing your behavior, and not holding ourselves to who we were. Like, always thinking this is a new day. They're capable of change. They're capable of doing something different than what they normally do.
Because people change, things change, people change, and feelings change every day. So just ask.
Yeah.
Just ask. If you feel like you know what's finna happen, still just ask. And if it do happen, throw a parade in your mind. Don't say it out loud, because then you gonna get
that you were right.
Yeah, you gonna get cussed out. So just throw a parade in your mind.
And also me not getting mad, because he can read me like a book, and oftentimes when he knows I'm gonna react some way, I do. So it's just patterns, but always I think
she the same way with me. I just.
He'll do something, and I'll just look at him, and I'll be like, I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah, I do.
I think it takes verbal confirmation, though, to, like, verbally saying, hey, I'm not going to do this anymore. And not like a joking, oh, I'm not going to do it, but, like, a serious, like.
Yeah.
And then asking your partner to hold you accountable.
Yeah, and even if I take, like, Yes, I can. I'm seriously meaning I'm not gonna do it no more.
You can still slip up.
Yeah, everybody make mistakes, and like
It takes
I can do it. I can do it again, and I make a mistake and do it again. But I can catch myself and say, you know what? I just did something that I said I ain't gonna do, and that's the first step.
yeah.
That's the change
It
right there.
also takes the right partner to not shame you for messing up. To be like, "Oh, I knew you were gonna do that again." Like I remember when I'm trying to do something and I do it again, Ty's like, "It's okay. Just remember you said you were gonna do that."
Yeah.
So it's balance. I'll do my next lesson. So I was driving home, right? It's a couple hour drive, and I have this like I have deep thoughts on the road in terms of driving
On
because
the road again.
me and Ty like car analogies. But anyway, I was driving on the road, right? I was in the fast lane, maybe going like 20 over, and which is fine because I'm in the fast lane. And I think I'm doing well until another car comes up behind me and they're kind of pushing me to go faster. And then I feel anxious, like, oh, I need to kind of outperform or prove that I can go faster. But then when I go faster, I feel anxious because it's above my it's above where I'm supposed to be right now, like above my capabilities. Like they want me to go faster, but I'm not ready to. So I can either sit in that anxiety and outperform myself and maybe not do as well as I should, or I can get over and let them pass me. And it kind of made me think of life like when you're by yourself, you think you're fine, you're confident in your abilities, and then you see someone who's maybe like outperforming you, or like, and you feel like you should go at their pace when you're not ready to go at your pace. And so you can either push yourself and make yourself really anxious trying to kind of be ahead of them, or you can just get over and let them pass you. And so I was driving at night on a Nashville interstate, which is makes me very anxious. And there were all these cars going super fast, and I felt like I had to keep up with them, which was making me more anxious because that's not how I drive. And it's actually putting me in danger to try to keep up with them. And I heard God tell me, just let them pass you. Like, just let them pass you. And then I let everyone pass me, and I'm alone, and it's peaceful. And I was like, wow, that's like really cool analogy in terms of life. Like, you always see people that you think you should share a lane with. Like, I'm in their lane. I need to be going their speed. I need to prove myself that I can be in that lane. Or you can just go and get in your own lane and let them pass you because that's their life. Like, that's the speed they're supposed to be going at. And, like, whenever you just let people pass you, let people do what they're supposed to do in life, then you're alone and you're in your own space and you're comfortable instead of putting yourself in danger, like making yourself anxious and stuff, trying to keep up with other people. So I learned that driving the other day, and I was like, wow, that's so cool.
It's amazing what you can learn in a car.
Yeah, we learn a lot in the car. We make a lot of car analogies.
Drive Toyota. My next lesson is that it's okay to be different when it comes to solving problems in my relationship. What I mean by that is when we have a problem or when we need to talk about something or when something happens, I want to talk about it right then. I want to process it right then out loud, right there in that moment. She, on the other hand, is different. There are many people like me and there are many people like her. She does not want to talk about it at all right then. She will sit in silence. Some people call it a shutdown. Some people call it they are internal processors.
And he's an external processor.
But she don't want to talk about it right now. So sometimes it makes me frustrated because I'd be like, man, like I'm that's where my anxiousness come from. Like,
is not knowing if we're okay.
Yeah, not knowing if stuff is okay, not knowing if, like, are we gonna be able to, like, is this something that's gonna be able to be fixed? You know, like, I done got a lot better now because now I'm like, no matter what goes on, I know we have proven time and time again that our communication, whether we do it then or we come back later, is strong and we have worked through problems. So now it's got a lot better, but I have to learn to just be okay with not talking about it right then. And I also tell her, like, hey, can you just let me know that, hey,
We're gonna talk
We gonna
about it
talk about
later.
it later on
Yeah.
instead of just give me nothing, because it like I said, it made me feel anxious, and I'm like, I don't know, like, God, dog, like, did I do something that bad? Like, is it that bad? That's where my mind get to going. But I have to understand that it's okay to be different when it comes to communicating and solving problems. Like, as long as we get down to talking about it, I think I can set aside wanting to talk about it right now to it's for the betterment of the situation, us communicating later.
Yeah. I will say the reason, well, I've always been an internal processor, but part of the reason I don't like to talk about things at the moment is because I am very expressive and very emotional. And so when I'm upset, I know that what I say is not going to be logical because I'm feeling my emotions more than I'm feeling logic. I know that what I say is maybe going to be emotion led by emotions.
Emotionally led.
So it might come out more mean than I intend it to, or more dramatic than I intend it to. And so I kind of shut down until I gain control of that. And I know that Ty doesn't really care if it doesn't make sense. He would rather me just talk it out. And that's genuinely just not how I do things, because sometimes I say things I don't mean because I'm upset and I don't want that to ruin it. But also, he views me shutting down as oh my gosh, something is so very wrong, because I don't always communicate, hey, let's just talk about it later, which I would say is a lesson of mine. I do need to work on that when I'm not ready to talk about things, being like, hey, we're okay. I just need some space. Because it's also hard for me to do that in moments where I'm not always thinking straight. But yeah, we do it's not trying to change how we process, but just trying to change how we communicate our needs in the moment, like giving him affirmation that, hey, we're fine. I need to talk about it later. Like, I'm not in a place to talk about this right now. And then him understanding and granting me that space. So it's stuff we can both work on.
Absolutely.
We always come around to talking about it, though.
Yeah, that would take the anxiousness away, because I'm like, we'll get around to it sometimes sooner or later. But then everything I do in between the time, I just be like,
Yeah, I know my mom told you this. I could stay mad for days. I could not talk to someone for days if I was angry. And I feel like I know that that makes you anxious, so my turnaround time for talking about it is so much quicker now. Like, I can't let so much time pass without feeling bad, because I'm like, he must be tore up inside right now. And like getting over myself, because sometimes I push off talking because of my own pride and because I want him to be as upset as I am. So I'm like, if I just push it off, then he'll know how I'm feeling. Like, he'll get so upset. And like putting aside my pride and being like, okay, we need to talk about it, because that's hurting him the more that we don't. And it hurts me too, because I don't like us being like, I remember we were kind of getting in a little tizzy the other day and you were about to leave for work. I'm like, so are we going to keep doing this?
and the
Are we
thing
going to
is,
keep at this for the rest of the
I ain't
day?
gonna lie. Sometimes it work, and I ain't ashamed as a man to say, sometimes it work, and I come back again and be like, well, you ready to talk about it right now?
And I'm like, no.
Instead of being all tough and rugged and be like, man, I ain't doing that. You gonna come talk to me? I ain't you the one that's upset. I ain't gonna, no. Sometimes I go ahead and be like, hey, look, we gonna talk about it or what? Yeah, dog.
So we're working on putting our pride aside in those situations. So that's definitely a lesson of mine too. But I have one more lesson,
Okay.
and kind of just realizing that we only have one shot at life, and I only have one chance to love you the best way that I can. And so kind of reflecting back on moments where maybe I did prolong an argument for too long, and maybe I did let some things end the way that I didn't want to, and being like, well, what if that was like our last time? What if, and always looking at life in the perspective of, hey, you have one shot. And days where I'm mad at you and I want to stay mad at you, being like, you know, it's an honor to get to love you. And sorry, I don't want to get emotional. Like, I I'm just really blessed to be married to you, and I want to take every day as a chance to get to love you the best that I can. And sometimes staying mad isn't always worth it. So, because you're my best friend, and I know sometimes things can get really dramatic, and I'm like, oh, I'm so mad at him, blah blah blah, and like it's not worth it. So.
You said you was get it. What's going on with that? It's okay. I love you.
Shut up.
You love me. We're best friends like friends should be, with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you.
Kisses.
Won't you say you love me too?
Yay.
Return of the Mac.
I always said,
Return of the Mac.
you know what I thought about? I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't cried on the podcast yet. Because I cry a lot.
You cried.
I'm crying over a good thing, though.
You cried today.
I learned that lesson a day where I was really mad at you. And I'm like, Sid, get over yourself. Like, you have one chance to love this irking little person over here.
I know I'm irking. I do it on purpose sometimes.
So, yeah, that's my lesson.
But hey, that concludes episode. I don't know what episode. I just know that concludes month 4
Yeah, we're
of
going to
the
lose
marriage.
track, to be honest.
That concludes month 4 of our marriage. And we thank you guys so much for watching. And that was a great way to end. She's crying. You know, that's love right there.
Oh my God, she's crying.
Yeah, that's love right there. I feel like the man of the year. But no, I'm just playing. But no, thank you guys so much for watching, and we love you. And we still need the topics. We gonna
Click
have a
the
question.
link tree in our bio, our Instagram bio specifically. It might also be linked to YouTube, and submit a topic.
You got the questionnaire on there.
Yep, it's on there.
You made it already.
You made it. I put it on the link tree.
Oh, I ain't know that. Okay. Yeah, we got the questionnaire rocking. Hey, look, go and get on the link tree. It's on all the platforms. Click on the link tree. The questionnaire is on there. Submit some topics, and we gonna get to it.
We're gonna go eat bread.
And we gonna
now.
eat bread. Peanut butter jelly, ham sandwich,
butter
turkey
jelly
sandwich,
time. Peanut butter
bologna
jelly.
sandwich,
All the sandwiches.
hot dog.
Okay.
That bread won't even fold, but I'm gonna fold to make a hot dog.
Bye, guys.
Bread.
Okay.